am Mrs. Martha Emmanuel Umar. I am a Baptist pastor's wife, a Baptist trained pastor also. I have my preaching license given by the Baptist, and I am a teacher by profession. Before I came to Ghana, I was pastoring some churches like children ministry. I pastored children all alone, anywhere my husband found himself. But I came to discover that there is something special about Sabbath, because my husband advised us to keep the Sabbath day holy in the family. And sometimes he would tell us how the Jewish people uses frankincense now in the temple and also church. And in Jerusalem, by Friday from 3:30, every church, the Catholic, the Baptist, the Presby, every church by 3:30 has to start getting ready for Sabbath worship. And once it's 3 o'clock and you are yet to reach where you're supposed to go, that's your destination, it means you have to stay where you are, because you will not get transportation to where you want to head to. And so by evening, Sabbath began, and people began to candlelight in their homes in preparation to Sabbath coming the following day, Saturday. And being that my husband is a biblical scholar, because he did his master's there before starting the PhD at Hebrew University, I told myself, I want to find something. What is it that is hidden about Sabbath? Why is it that in Israel, every church, including the Reverend Fathers of Catholic, are always observing Sabbath beginning Friday to Saturday? And I started making some research on my own, and I discovered it.
Okay. Holy words, long preserved for us.
Well, it was a friend by name Madam Cecilia. She's a member of Methodist. She sent me a message from the Voice of Hope, and I started listening to that message, the one my sister sent me. And I told her, the preacher from this ministry must be a real man of God, because what he is preaching is not an adulterated theology. It's not something that has been indoctrinated. It's not something that has been, adulterated. And I told her that she should keep on listening. Well, I became dedicated. Anytime I will ask her, you have not sent me that morning devotion. What happened? She said, oh, it's my friends that normally send. I said, well, I will register it myself. So I wrote to Pastor Apau. I say, I am Matthew, I am Martha, it was my sister that introduced me to this ministry. Please, can you register my number, my children's number? We want to be receiving this morning devotion. And when we started listening, my last baby, the younger brother of the one being baptized, he now said, this man is a very strong man. He knows Bible very well like daddy. Can you hear especially the teaching about the end time? It made the last baby, our last baby, he memorized the book of Revelation without my knowledge, simply because of the teaching of Pastor Apau. And he went to the church, everybody was surprised. How did he memorize the whole book of Revelation? I was not the one who taught him. And then they began to do the Bible study, following the pastor step by step. And then sometimes they will write some questions to their father to give them detailed explanations of some of the things that they learned from the ministry of Voice of Hope. And their father will write sometimes up to 2 pages explaining one question to them. And they kept on like this. I said, wow, as for me, I want to be baptized. Already, even before my baptism, as from now henceforth, for the rest of my life, I want to become an Adventist. It wasn't easy. I made up my mind right from January when I started listening to the Voice of Hope. But I spoke to my husband about it. He said, oh, no problem. If you want to be a Sabbatarian, you go ahead. Now from Baptist to Sabbatarian, I say yes. You'll be Baptist Sabbatarian? I say yes. Well, go ahead. I spoke to pastor. I want to be baptized. And I started even fasting before I was baptized. I did that fasting. That was 2016. And we completed the fasting. I really felt the presence of God. And that was the beginning of re-healing of the ulcer that has been suffering, a very chronic ulcer. And from there, the road began to be sour and bitter for me. The experience was not easy. It wasn't at all. Sometimes I feel, maybe, can I make it? Maybe I will die along the way, because the burden was so much heavy. Nobody wants to support me. I was left on my own. It wasn't easy. The questions that I can't answer, I don't know how to define it. I don't know how to explain it. But my prayer is that one day the Lord should reveal himself to them, so that they will come and know the light and the truth about the worship of Sabbath. I'm so happy and excited. As I always tell them, I always say that, as for me, I will continue to serve the Lord on Sabbath, even if nobody had been rejected by all. Even if it means I will die inside the gutter and my dead body will be there, I know the angels will not reject my dead body to go to see my God in heaven, simply because I die inside the gutter as a Sabbatarian. Concerning this baptism, when my daughter said she wanted to be baptized, I was so glad. I couldn't hold my joy. And they say, we have to ask Daddy. I said, even before you give a suggestion for us to ask Daddy, I have to write him. Daddy has to write us. I now wrote to my husband. I called him. I said, well, children want to join me at the church and they want to be baptized. He said, oh, no problem. I said, yeah, thank you so much for granting us the chance, but I would like you to write it as their father, so that it will not look as if I am pushing them to become an Adventist, so that it will not look as if I'm forcing them to join me in the church. And he wrote that I, Reverend Emmanuel Umar, I agree for my children to be baptized in SDA Church, and I pray that the Lord will make use of them to the glory of his name, as they serve him in SDA Church. I was so happy. I forwarded the message to the elders and to my pastor. I called Pastor Apau my pastor. He is my personal pastor. Iron sharpens iron. And I forwarded it to him, to Pastor Lamy and the elders in the church. Everybody they could not believe their father would give them a permission to join me at the church. And I pray with all my heart that one day every member of my family would taste the goodness of Yes, sometimes I don't need to tell people that I am an SDA member. Even 3 days back, my colleague, we call him Meswe, he said, are you an SDA? I said, why do you ask? He said, no, Madam Martha, your lifestyle is different, even at the place of work. I said, yes, I am. He said, no wonder, the way you behave is different. And yesterday, I visited my friend at Dodowa, along Dodowa Road, at, is it Ampoma? And when I went there, she gave me a cylinder. I took it to her. She asked me to bring the cylinder. I took the cylinder, and she said, no, you can't leave. We have to spend the night. And as we spent the night, at the mid of the night, I got up to 2 times to pray and read my Bible. She now look and say, Sister Martha, are you an SDA member? Because what she offered me to eat, she said, let me eat this. Let me give you meat. I say, no, I don't want to eat meat. Let me give you. I say, no. Sister Martha, you are so diligent with the Bible. Are you an SDA? I say, Grandma, why are you asking? Maybe I'm an SDA. She said, well, your lifestyle is different from when you are in Baptist. I said, wow, Grandma, what is it? No, you see, I was having burden and you started sharing, you are telling me about Jesus, all the worries when I narrated everything that I'm having problem with this one, my neighbors, and you told me not to take revenge. You told me this. I say, yes, I'm now an SDA. Most of the time, I don't tell people I'm an SDA. In fact, I have never told people I'm a member of SDA church. But people ask me. I went to Ashama to buy beans and gari. I always go there to buy from one lady. She now say, Mommy, sorry to ask you this question. Are you an SDA member? I smile. I say, why do you ask? She said, no. Anytime you come to buy things from me, I just kept on examining how you talk, how you behave, even. And I said, one day I will ask you. I say, yes, I'm an SDA member. She said, hey, no wonder, because SDA people, they don't like trouble, and the way they live is different. I say, yes, glory be to God. That is how it is about my life since I joined the church.